Do you do you think your mother had any idea the impact the Betty Ford Center would have on so many lives?
Oh, that's hard to say. I think after we opened the doors and the first patients were there and the first year was, underneath and we were doing that sort of thing, yes. Um, Before then, when she was trying to raise the money for the buildings and that sort of thing, I think there are days that she had second thoughts of what am I doing? And is this really going to make a difference? There's other treatment centers and that sort of thing. And the interesting thing is, when she was designing the Betty Ford Center, she went to Hazleton, and this is all way before the merger. She went to Hazleton because they had been doing it longer than anybody else and visited to see how they did it. And so we basically programmed the Betty Ford Center after Hazleton's program.
And I also love that she was very hands-on up until, she passed away in 2011 and she was still active there. It wasn't like she just put her name on the building and walked away and gave money. She was visiting, she was talking with patients. She really had a role in the day-to-day activities.
She did, and back in the very beginning, she and Nikki Firestone, Leonard Firestone, who she co-founded the Betty Ford Center with, went over and spent the night to find out what it was missing. And it was as simple as soap dishes and cups for, toothbrushes and things like that, and Kleenex box covers, because she wanted it to be nice. It was never going to feel like home, but she wanted the patients to be comfortable. So yes, she was very involved from day one until the end of her life. And she did go see patients. She would get a call and say, we have a patient that's ready to walk out and, they're having a hard time and whatever. Do you have 10 minutes to come talk to them? And so she would, and the house was 5 minutes away. So it was very easy for her to do. But she also spoke to the patients every month. And then she would shake their hands and spend time with them and sign their books. It was a very personal, it was a very important thing to her. And to put her name on it was even harder.
That's fabulous. What do you think the next 40 years will bring for the Betty Ford Center?
40 years from now, wow. As we do our strategic planning and visioning and what's in the future, it's really hard to say what's coming. Of course, there's a lot more melding of substance abuse disorder and mental health, and we're treating more and more of each. And will it continue to be virtual? One of the things that Hazleton Betty Ford, they really picked up on going virtual during COVID, which was, it was always on our books as an idea that we needed to do. But then COVID hit and we had to do it. We had no other choice. So there were a lot of patients that were uncomfortable coming in during COVID because of, the symptoms and testing and everything else. And so we were able to go virtual very quickly. So that we're extremely proud of that. And we will always continue with the virtual. So I don't know what will happen next. I look at how we're serving so many more medical students with that training for the young medical students. Our children's program is expanding into other states. So there's always something exciting and new going on. Who knows what the next step is?
I'm curious, do you think, and I know you have children, do you think they may end up sort of taking the reins from you and also serving on the board for the Betty Ford Center down the road?
Oh, I think one of my daughters will, yes. Part of it depends upon, one has teenage children and the other one has young children. So it's a matter of who has the most time and interest in serving on the board, and when am I willing to bow down and give it up.
I just love that it'll hopefully be within the family, that there will always be someone connected, with Betty Ford on the board itself, which I think is kind of.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. It will, because of the name and also some of it has to do with the control of the name and that sort of thing, Peter.
You're wonderful. Anything else, Susan, that you wanted to